there's no bathtubs here. You can get a bathtub, but 90% of the homes, I would say, do not have a bathtub. You just have a standing shower.
Yeah,
wow.
And that's all you get.
We've never lived in a house that had a bathtub.
No.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out another video by the channel Traveling Young. And the last one that I did by them was actually the differences between a U.S. and a Danish home. And he showcased from an American's house, right? So this video, and he mentioned a video, he's like, well, last time I did it from the Danish side, this and that. Well, now I found that video. So this is going to be him showcasing a Danish house and then talking about how that is different than an American house. So the description says, we walk around our new house and show you 10 things we find different and interesting between our new house in Denmark and houses where we lived before in the US. So links down below. Make sure you go down there, hit like, hit subscribe, do all that super awesome fun stuff. And we're going to jump into it and see what this is all about.
All right, welcome to this week's Traveling Young. Maya's here with me. Later, you'll see Miranda. But right now, we're standing in my office. Check it out. There's all my random bobblehead baseball things.
Oh, cool.
Where I edit videos.
I need
random
shelves.
guitars on the wall. This is it. There's a
cat?
cat on the ground. Here we are in my office, and you're going to kind of inadvertently get a house tour.
Yeah, it wasn't really the intention with the video, but you're going to get a little bit of it, a little taste.
And that's because this video, we're going to talk about 10 things that we find different in Danish homes, specifically this one, and homes that we've lived in the U.S. We thought that would be an interesting topic. 10 things different in Danish homes versus American homes on this week's Traveling Young.
10 of them, guys. I like their intro.
So we're outside our house at our mailbox, and you can see our mailbox looks like basically any other mailbox in either Denmark or the US, but the big difference is it has our names on it. So there's Josh's name, my name's there too, and that's really important because here in Denmark, if you don't have your name on your mailbox, sometimes the post people won't actually deliver your mail. They'll send it back because they can't prove that you live here.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's a big difference from the US because we're not required to do that in the US. It just,
You know, I kind of wish we were, because we get mail for the wrong people all the time, like people that used to live here and stuff. So if that was a thing now where we just put our name on there, then that would actually be better because we'd stop getting mail from other people.
this goes by the house number. So the post people just deliver it to whoever lives in the house. They don't know who lives there. They just care about the house number. So that's a big difference. And behind me are all of our trash cans. So we've got paper and plastic, we have cardboard, we've got our regular trash, food trash. So this is all like the extras from when you're cooking and things. And then glass and metal, and finally our garden trash. So
Jeez, most people around here have one or two. Wow. I mean, I get it, you know, with the recycling and all that stuff. But some people do recycle. Some people do have, you know, their can for cardboards and their can for glass and all that. But a lot of people just have one and they just throw all of it in there.
we've got a lot of trash cans. We do a lot of recycling, a lot of separating, and that's a big thing here in Denmark. Recycling's really big, so they make it as easy as possible.
Okay.
And all of these get picked up on different days. We just have to kind of note in a calendar what days they come. So that's a big difference from the US. All we had in the US was basically like mixed recyclables. So anything that was recyclable went into one container. They didn't make any separation, and then we just had trash. And that was it. And it was really, really hard to do any really big recycling. We did a video about Genbrug Station. We didn't really have those in the US either. So yeah, there's lots more recycling done here in Denmark, and therefore lots more trash cans.
Yeah. Oh, those are the Danish. Somebody actually sent me a picture actually on the Facebook page and called it the happy plugs, because they look like a happy face.
Yeah.
All right, so one of the weird things about bathrooms in Denmark is the light switches are outside the bathroom rather than inside the bathroom. I don't understand why. If somebody knows the reason for this, tell me in the comments, because I don't understand it at all. But it is kind of fun to mess with people while they're going to the bathroom.
All right, so another thing I want to talk about is unfinished floors. So this is like the entrance to our new house, but it is actually the only room in our current house that has unfinished floors. But our two old houses in Denmark had only unfinished floors in every room of the house. However, I don't think none of our houses back in the US had unfinished floors. They were all, had the glossy top. And I don't know if I've ever even been in a house in the US that had unfinished floors. So it's a very Danish or European thing. But yeah, it was something I definitely thought was a bit strange when I first came here.
All right, so you're kind of getting a little bit of a tour of the house here. We're now in Miranda's office, and
They didn't show the floor, though. We're talking about unfinished floors. She didn't show the floor.
looking at another light switch. It's a very light switch heavy tour and description of things. And in this case, what's interesting is there's an outlet at the switch. It's smart because there's obviously power going to the switch, and it allows you to do things like plug in a vacuum cleaner or something that you just need temporarily plugged in, and you don't need to like get on the ground or move furniture to find an outlet to plug something in. This is not something that happens in the US. The light switches are just light switches. There's no outlets next to it at all. So this is pretty handy. I like this. Almost every light switch in the house has an outlet directly below it if you need power.
You know,
now
it does make sense because, like you said, there's already power going to it. So, like, why not make it where there's also a plug?
we are in the kitchen, and something that I really thought was interesting when I first moved to Denmark is I remember walking into the kitchen in our very first house and saying, "Where's the fridge? Where is it?" But we had a built-in fridge, and it's quite common in Danish homes to have built-in fridges in the wall. But that was something that was very weird to get used to, and I definitely opened the wrong cabinet a few times when we first moved into our house here.
All right, and now we're going to switch.
Built-in fridge, that's cool. I mean, I've seen some of that here in some like really nice big houses and stuff. I used to do drywall and stuff, so like sometimes, you know, you'd be in like a mansion, right? And sometimes they do have their fridge like built into their cabinet work like that, but not as common.
Yes.
Because I have one. I hope the sound, maybe stand over there. I hope the sound of the dishwasher isn't too loud over there. But also, this is a freezer. And as you can see, there's no mechanism for making ice cubes in this freezer at all. There's no thing to get. No, there's no, this isn't doing anything except
No ice.
No ice making facilities. Every refrigerator freezer I've ever had in America had the ability to make ice cubes. Even the cheapest one, we lived in this like super...
Not all of them, not the older ones. Mine has an ice maker, but there's something broke inside of it that I need to like epoxy back, and then of course hook the water line up.
Inexpensive, cheap, right out of college house in Tullahoma, Tennessee. I bought the cheapest refrigerator, which was also happened to be the most expensive one I could afford at the time. Even it had up at the top, quite common, the freezer at the top, a way to make ice cubes with water running into the freezer to do this. So I've always had free flowing ice cubes at any point I wanted in my life until I moved here. 5.5 years of no ice cubes. That's a massive, this has been a struggle to get used to. Maybe not now because it's winter, but in the summertime, ice
Just get an ice cube tray. A couple ice cube trays, come on.
cubes. I love you so much.
This is one that I feel like you and I both miss.
Yes.
There's no bathtubs here. You can get a bathtub, but 90% of the homes, I would say, do not have a bathtub. You just have a standing shower.
Yeah,
Wow.
And that's all you get.
we've never lived in a house that had a bathtub.
No. And I'm getting used to it.
I've been in houses with a bathtub.
Yeah.
Other people's houses,
Yeah.
not our houses. It's not really common.
No. Sometimes I miss it, but that's what hotels are for. They have bathtubs. And we thought we'd just do a quick special
Bonus.
honorable mention to the 2 buttons that you
I've seen that some of the more modern style toilets that they're coming out with now here have that style, but it's not super common. But they're not shaped the same. They're shaped the same as like what we normally have, which isn't the same shape as that. It's more shorter and wider for the tank, but I've seen it with the buttons. And a lot of like public bathrooms, like at fast food restaurants or like gas stations and stuff. If you do, which I try to avoid them at all costs, but if you do have to use a public restroom, a lot of them will have stuff like that.
You have on toilets. In the US, we just have a single flush. You flush a toilet and that's it. No more thought to it. Here you've got a light flush.
And a heavy.
For light things, and a heavier flush for heavier things.
I've heard of those.
I'm a frequent user of the heavy flush button. Just
So more water.
He wears it out. No, but I've heard of see, so the difference. So the bathroom, the ones that we have here, would just have the one flush though. But it's the similarities where the button is involved, right? Instead of a handle. But I do know about the double flush because other countries in Europe, but different reaction videos that I've done and stuff.
More forceful with the heavy flush. So yeah. So whichever one you need, you can do.
Good for energy water saving.
Yes, exactly.
right. What do you think, buddy?
Ollie agrees.
Ollie agrees.
So I
Ollie
think I got a lot of Ollie's butt up. We're trying to get her to do weird things over here.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Wait. All right, go for it.
Okay. So one thing that I really noticed when we moved to Denmark, and I think this is just the Scandinavian style really coming out, but every room is white. They're all white. In every house we've lived in, all the rooms are just white.
Always?
And I thought that was very interesting because the houses we've lived in the US were either like painted different colors. I remember our dining room in our house in DC was yellow. We had a green room or like wallpaper, but every room here in our house we've lived in are just white.
Oh.
It's very minimalist. I think it's quite nice, especially in the summer with all the natural light. But I definitely remember coming to the house and being like, this is so boring. Why is everything white?
I wonder if it's all.
So I did have to slightly.
I wonder if it's like that because she said like all of them that she's been in was white too, right? And they've been there like 5.5 years, I think they said. Oh.
Really search the house for this because this house does not really have that much of this. But
It's a water pitcher. I know there was another video where I didn't recognize it. I know what they are now. You don't have to comment about it.
previous houses did. Dad doesn't believe me, but it's true. But that the plugs here have like switches to turn the light off, which I find very interesting because that's not really a concept we have in the US. So I have a demonstration for you
Sometimes.
that it does in fact turn on and off for the switch. But yeah, this house doesn't really have that much, but previous houses definitely did. And it's something I think is very interesting. Oh, started to turn on.
And it was already getting hot. That's efficient. I want one of those.
Whoa.
Ollie wants to be in every shot, guys. This is the end. Mine slightly go on. There we go.
Come this way. Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
cat video.
Let's wrap this up, guys.
Yes. So thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode on things that we find different between our homes here in Denmark and the homes that we've had back in the US. And actually, fun thing, if you've been in houses in the US and houses here, we'd love to hear what you think are weird things that you have found.
Well, what about the entranceway? Because I know in the other video, I don't know if it was my reaction to it or the original video. I was looking in the comments and somebody was saying that it's weird to see a house where you open up the main door and it's not in a hallway, which leads me to believe that in Denmark, a lot of the houses, you open up the door to get in and you're immediately faced with a hallway instead of like a living room or a foyer, laundry, utility room, whatever, right? So let me know about that.
Or maybe also the opposite way. If there's things you think are weird about American homes.
That's true. Weird about
I've
tubs.
gotten a lot
I
of
probably think tubs are weird.
I've gotten a lot of comments about how the toilet water is very high. So something of that nature.
Interesting. Yes, of course.
Is our toilet water high? Anyways, that was a good video, guys. That's about that. Check out the Patreon. Have a super fun, awesome day. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.